everyone, and welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be making makate. Makate is another name would be also makate sinia. Makate is it's basically like a cake made from rice, but the consistency is just really nice. It's very springy and very good. You can see all the layers in it. So what I have done here, I took rice and I soaked it last night. So my rice is nicely soaked, and I just ran it under some hot water this morning, right now. So it's nice and warm, so the yeast is gonna come up pretty fast. And then what I have here is I have got sugar. I've got about 9 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, 1.5 teaspoons of yeast, just some cardamom, crushed cardamom, and I've got 2 tablespoons of oil, and then I have some coconut cream, which is 17.8 flask ounces, and this is not the coconut milk, this is the coconut cream. So make sure you have, when you go there is a difference between the two. Now what we're going to be doing this is we're going to be putting this all in a blender, and you don't need a high-tech blender for this or anything like that. I just do a lot of cooking, so I've invested in a good blender. So we're just going to go ahead and add all our rice in here. It's really simple. Once you do it a couple times, and I'll show you another thing that also can be done with the same dough. Okay, so we got all that in there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my coconut cream in here. Use your spatula to get all the cream out. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast in here, sugar, milk, oil, and fresh ground cardamom. Okay. So basically, you just want to check the consistency of the rice, and I can still feel a little bit of rice in here, like still rice powder in here. So we're still gonna go ahead and blend it until you can, basically it's gonna be a really nice fine mixture. Okay, we're gonna just check the consistency again, and it's a lot better. So we're gonna go ahead and just add it to my bowl here. And I usually take a big bowl to put it in, just because when the yeast comes it's gonna fluff up, and I've had it where if I put it in a small bowl it's gonna overflow and then I have a mess and I lose all that makate dough or mix. Okay. Give it a good stir. I want to show you here, if we can get a close-up on this. Do you see the bubbles on top? See the bubbles? That means the yeast has already started fermenting, so this is a really good sign. And it's nice and warm. It's not hot, it's just nice and warm. And what I'm going to do is, I usually use a saran wrap or a clear plastic wrap, so I don't keep on opening it to see. I can just see right through it. And we're going to be baking this. We're going to first put it on the stove, and then we're going to just broil it. And I'll show you how that's done. So here we go. So I'm going to keep this in a nice warm place for it to poof up, and then when we come back I'll show you how it's puffed up and we're gonna start cooking it. Okay, so I've got my mixture here and it's already, look at how it's already bubbled up. I'm gonna show you how that it looks like. But I also have my stove on with a frying pan on it, and we're gonna be adding a little oil. In the meantime, I also have my oven on to broil. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do this. Okay. So basically, you can tell that it's really fermented. Look at that. I'm gonna give it a good mix. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a little bit of oil, and this is canola oil, into our frying pan, just a little bit. Just want to make sure that you kind of get it everywhere, so it will help it from sticking. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this mixture into our frying pan. Now I could have added everything, but I'm just leaving a little bit behind because I want to show you another way of also making this from the same mixture. It's called kibibi, and that tastes really, really good too. So I'm just going to save a little bit of mixture here. And our stove is on medium high temperature. And what we are looking for here is basically, we need to see that the round edges are gonna look a little bit done, and we're gonna get more bubbles, and so that we'll know that the bottom is done and the insides is getting done. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna stick it into the broiler. So do you see how we've got the sides here that are become really nice and brown, so we know that the bottom has already become brown, and then the top has all these bubbles in there, which is perfect. So now we know that the bottom is already nice and brown. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the frying pan and put it in our broiler here. And you want to be very, very careful with this because you don't want to shake it and have the mixture run all over the place. And what I have is I have a handle cover here. If you don't have that, that's fine. Just take some foil and cover it up so you don't burn the handle. So very carefully, we're gonna put it right on top, right under our broiler, like so. And it's gonna start getting browned, and once it gets all nice and brown on top, then we'll be able to take it out. Alright, so this is basically what it's supposed to look like. It's all done. I'm gonna bring it here so you can take a good look here. And see, it's not stuck on the bottom, which is perfect. So I'm just gonna leave it in there for just about 5-10 minutes for it to settle down, and then we're gonna go ahead and then transfer it on our plate. So I wanted to show you how this one it looks like when you see the sides done and you do see just a little bit of the batter on top, which is perfect. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and turn it just like so. Now, you don't need to have a little frying pan like this. You can even use a regular small frying pan if you like. So we're just gonna wait until this gets done. In the meantime, I had the square ones going and I just cut them in wedges here. And then these I just did like thin, long slices. Now let's go ahead and cut this. It's slightly really warm yet, but this is one thing I have a problem with, that whenever I make this, I just don't have enough patience to wait. But look at this. Do you see how springy it has become? It's really nice and soft and really springy inside. cut this. And again, it's hot, this is why. You also want to use a really good serrated knife to cut this. It's very important. So any type of bread knife that is really nice and serrated, you want to use that. And these were just a couple ideas that I thought I will throw out at you. So sometimes when you just present something a little differently, it looks like a new dish. Again, look at how nice and springy it is. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. And what you want to do is you want to put it on a rack, like a metal rack like this, so that on the bottom it doesn't get, because of the heat, it's going to sweat and then it's going to get wet on the bottom. So you can cut them in diamond shapes if you like. You can kind of cut them just square if you like. It just depends how you want to cut it. Okay, I'm just going to take a little piece here for a taste test. It's really warm. The sugar is perfect. I can smell or taste the cardamom in it. It's just wonderful, soft. A good cup of coffee, good cup of tea would go perfect with our Makate here. I'm gonna put this on top here so we can just have different, you can just see how many different variations we can do. This concludes our episode of Makate or rice bread. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great recipe. See you then, friends.